this loud enough? Not now. Is this loud enough? Do you want it louder?
No, it's great.
It's a little chilly, but you're going to be warm pretty soon. Our patriots, we're going to be warm. We got some great speakers today, and again, this is about quality over quantity. We want quality today, right?
Yeah.
So this event today is all about love for our people, love for our country. That's all about. We got Antifa there. We welcome them. But this is about all Canadians.
That's right.
It's about our country, and that's the focus today. We're gonna get right into the globalism agenda today. We're gonna be looking at that. So the big theme today is Canadian nationalism versus globalism UN. So we're gonna help inform the Canadian public today on that issue. That's one of the most important issues we gotta face. And this today is about honesty, integrity, speaking the truth, not being politically correct. And I'm gonna dwell today into Agenda 2030. Everyone needs to know about that agenda and what's going on, and the impact from the global world order on us. And to start this off on the right note, I brought this today, everyone.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's a shit remover.
This is a plunger. And Canada's toilet is clogged. It's full of what's called the crony, the globalists, the corrupt, self-serving politicians are in there. And we got to plunge Canada's toilet, drain it, clean out Ottawa. So this is what our plunger symbolizes. We need to become plumbers, all of us, and go to work this year, 2019. So remember that. We got to do a lot of draining. Canada needs a lot of draining this year. But I want to talk about Yellowvest, And we hear people talking about saying it's not political. And we say nonsense. We say nonsense. Yellowvest is 100% inherently political. It has to be. And it's open to any Canadian, anyone worldwide. This is for NCA. We're here because we're anti-globalist. That's why we're here. We're here because we're anti-globalist. There's different factions in Yellowvest. There's Antifa, there's globalists in it. No one owns it. No one owns it. So we're in solidarity with all patriots in Canada who are anti-globalist and patriots worldwide who are anti-globalist. And we should talk about what's been going on in Canada is controlled through the left, right, liberal, conservative dichotomies. We just swing back and forth and nothing changes. And that's the truth, everyone. It's been going on, and we want to break those dichotomies. We want to elevate to what's called Canadian nationalism versus globalism UN. We're not against the left. We're not against the right. This is about Canadian people and the country we love. And it doesn't matter, like our Antifa here, it doesn't matter. They're all Canadians. Hopefully we can break through to them, but we don't need the division in our society. It's not helping. I think everyone can agree with that. So we have to unite against the UN and the globalism. It's a real threat to our country. And Agenda 2030 really sums it up, and I'm going to go into that shortly. But I have to be very clear. If you look into Agenda 2030, Agenda 21, they talk about transforming our world. Transforming. And what's happening in Canada? Our country is being transformed as we speak into a UN-like globalist village. That's what's going on. It's through Agenda 2030, it's through the UN Migration Pact, it's through Agenda 21, it's through the globalist trade deals like TPP, it's through the foreign aid outflow, it's through the immigration intake, but this is what's going on. Our country is being transformed, and our people have not been given a say. And that's what's wrong about it. It's not democratic. It's all top-down global world order. And what this transformation means is replacement of the traditional populations of Canada. And I'm talking about Anglophones, Francophones, our First Nation, Inuit, Métis, coast to coast are being replaced as we speak. And this is a fact based on the demographics. Canada is on a trajectory, if this mass immigration continues, to be over 80% visible ethnic minority. And that's a fact, everyone. Our founding pioneers of Canada, the settlers, are being replaced. And I think Canadian people should decide whether that should take place. Obviously, it's something we don't support, but that is part of the transformation that's going on. It's quite disturbing. I'm going to get into globalism, UN versus Canadian nationalism. Canadian nationalism has been maligned for decades because globalists hate nationalists because they're the opposite of each other. But Canadian nationalism is everything we love and believe in. Freedom of speech, justice, equal opportunity, Canadian citizenship, Canadian citizenry, Canadian sovereignty. That's what Canadian nationalism is about. And it's true patriotism, love for your country, love for your people. Those are all the beautiful things that we support. But if we look at the globalism UN, which is happening, it's all about global world order. It's about technocrats, globalist elitists, globalist corporations controlling you and your family. It's about open borders. It's about global citizenry. It's about one world currency. It's about dictates from the global one world government dictating our lives. And this is all manifested in Agenda 2030. It's also anti-nationalism, anti-sovereignty. It's in Canada's case, it's anti-Christianity. It's anti-heterosexual. It's anti-Euro-Canadian. That's what it is. And that's what's happening. We can see it every day. Those things are happening. Agenda 23, Agenda 2030 was signed on to Canada on September 2015 by Stephen Harper. Unfortunately, that's an extension off Agenda 21. It's a very sinister agenda, Agenda 2030. It's all about global world control of our country. They talk about ending poverty everywhere. They talk about pushing climate change. They talk about inclusive societies, inclusive citizenry. But when you break it down, Agenda 2030 is about global socialism. It's about global communism. It's about global dictate of these globalist corporations. And that's the truth. If you look into the document, it's very scary. And they will kick down anyone who goes against that. They want to deny our resource workers to develop our beautiful oil and gas. That's part of Agenda 2030. Switching over to sustainable energy. That's what it's about. They want to kick down our traditional families. They will silence anyone who's critical of this agenda. And we saw this in the UN Migration Pact, where they're trying to silence anyone who's discriminatory, anyone who's perceived as racist, non-tolerant. This is the agenda that's being imposed on us. Also, extreme taxation. We have to care for the people of the world. Our people are coming last. And that's what the agenda is about, global citizenry. This is the fight of our lives. This is what we're facing. And we got, at National Citizens Line, check our Facebook. We got a lot of articles on Agenda 2030. But like I said, Agenda 2030, Agenda 21, UN Migration Pact, this whole globalist agenda means less jobs for anyone who works in oil and gas. That's a fact. Obviously, we oppose that. We have to develop our resources. Oil and gas are not going anywhere. It's less freedom of speech. We see that in M103, E411. They're silencing free speech. Facebook censorship. The censorship is growing. We're seeing extreme taxation in Canada. Our foreign aid is outflowing, right? Billions of dollars to other countries are flowing out of the country. New immigrants, refugees are coming in, and they're getting paid way. They're getting thousands of dollars, right? We have Canadians on the street. We have senior veterans on the street. We have about 700,000 seniors that live close to poverty. But it's not about our people. The globalist agenda is about everyone. That's what it's about. They want to impose globalist corporations on our food, on our drugs, on our water resources.
And our oil and gas.
That's what's going on. Another thing, one thing they're going to do is they want to take our firearms away to control our societies. Because they talk about an inclusive, safe society. So if you're a firearm owner, you better be concerned. Make sure you speak up. There's a complete attack on traditional Canadian identity. cultural norms, values, beliefs. We see that happening every day. We have a prime minister, as we all know. He calls us a post-national state. Post-national state. And he doesn't know what our identity is, our heritage, our culture, our values. That's where we're at. That's what they're shooting for, everyone. We have affirmative action. Traditional Canadians have trouble getting a job in the federal government because of affirmative action through the 1986 Employment Equity Act. That is a part of Agenda 2030 as well. We have gender equality. We have unfair, favorable treatment to new immigrants coming to our country, while our traditional populations are dismissed. Christianity is under attack in Canada. The free speech of Christianity is under attack. As I said, heterosexuals are being marginalized and persecuted by the federal government. That's all according to this globalism UN agenda. And like I said, we see a complete transformation going on in Canada, everyone. And I know this may sound bad, but this is the truth. And I hope everyone is standing here united with me against the globalist agenda. We gotta fight this. There's no room for division. There's no room for division. And I stand here united with all Canadians who oppose this sinister globalist agenda that's happening. This isn't makeup. This isn't fairy tale. This is the truth of what's happening. And to be honest, I wouldn't have an issue if all Canadians had a direct say on it. But we've had no say. We've had no say. Right? So we gotta, like I said, if we get stuck left, right, liberal, conservative, back and forth, it's just same. We gotta elevate to a higher level. We gotta look about Canadian nationalism versus the globalist UN, everyone. So think about that. And hopefully you agree with us. But that's what we got to be focused on. This is happening. Do not dismiss it. The facts are there. The demographic data is there. These agendas are there. Go read them. Go look it up. Do your homework. Look up these agendas. And we did a video on it the other day, and it was shocking on Agenda 2030. Very shocking. There's 114 plus cities, municipalities, including the city of Edmonton, that support Agenda 2030. It is happening. This is a threat to all Canadians. Our way of life is under attack. No questions asked. And I see your signs, sir. Build that pipeline. Build that pipeline. I say build that refinery. Build that refinery. Keep the jobs in Canada, in Alberta, in Saskatchewan. Right? But this Agenda 2030 is going to suck them out of here. It's all about sustainable energy, anti-oil and gas. Remember that. Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, UN Migration Pact is your enemy. And those who support it. That is the truth. And then we got the open borders coming in. Again, this is about the transformation of our population. Replacement of our traditional population. And our values are under siege. Our heritage, our values are under siege. So I stand here this is about love for all Canadians. We're trying to inform Canadians so they can make better decisions. That's all we're trying to do. It's about love for our country. It's about standing up for Canadian sovereignty. And I say to you, no UN!
No UN! No UN!
No UN!
No UN! No UN!
No UN!
No UN!
No UN! No UN! No UN! No UN! No UN! No UN! Love for our people. It's all about love. Love for our people. Love for the Antifa. We don't hate Antifa. Look at them there. They're Canadians like us. We want to unite with all Canadians. This is all about love for our people. Working together for our greater prosperity and security as the country. We're not afraid to dialogue with anyone. We're not afraid to dialogue. It's all about love for our people. And we may disagree on some issues, but that's okay. As long as we're civil and we let the facts guide us. We let the facts guide us.
You're getting soft on them, I think.
I'm gonna invite one of our First Nation friends up here, because we love our First Nations. We love our First Nations. We love our First Nations. Thank you very much. We love our First Nations. We love our Inuit. We love our Métis for coast to coast. These beautiful people were here at the beginning, and we worked together to build this country we have, and we can never forget that. Aboriginal people, First Nation, Inuit, Métis are integral to the Canadian identity,
They are first.
heritage, cultural norms, our values. And, the past isn't perfect, but we're going together, united with our First Nations. We're united with our First Nations who we love today. And what's your name? Virginia, thank you for joining us. And could you talk about the globalism, what's happening, please?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out. I just want to say I don't think the average person in Canada realizes what it's going to mean for us to have that many people coming here at once. Because what are they going to eat? Where are they going to sleep? And who's going to pay for them, right? Well, all services, I'm telling you right now, all services will be height to the height. Any place you live, if you're not living in a rich area, those services will not be extended to you. The police service will be heightened because they will go to the rich places first. And I'm telling you, if you don't make a certain average amount of money, that you're not going to get those services. If somebody breaks in your house, rapes your children, you're not going to get that service.
Boo!
This
Terrible.
is a real fact that wherever they go, they believe that if you have a young woman at the age of 9, they will marry them off. They also believe that if there's enough turmoil, like those ones are doing right now, that their Mahdi will come to power. We know that, and we know that the Trudeau government is falling for that lie. We know that that lie is extended throughout the global agenda to make us be under their rule and not have nothing. I'm telling you right now, these are facts. Go to Europe where they do not show what's actually happening in the streets when they come. There's dirt. There's litter all over the place. And I'm telling you right now, they are not for peace, neither they know peace. So I'm telling you that if they're going to come here, there's going to be a standard against them to show what Canada is all about.
Yeah!
Canada is for justice, peace, and equality. But I'm telling you right now that no Islam or nothing like no Sharia law is going to be made the religion of the land. We were here first. The First Nations people were here first.
Yeah!
I'm telling you, we helped the Europeans, probably your ancestors over there, to live in this land, to be able to function in the winter time. And if we did not have that extended greeting to you, to them, perhaps some of you would have been here. So I'm telling you right now that Canada is a sovereign nation. And we will fight for the peace and the families of this country. We will stand for decency. We are not for a global agenda. And I'm talking from a First Nations perspective. And this includes everybody. You want to have those goods and services? Then you must vote no to the Liberal agenda. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, Virginia. Wonderful.
No UN, guys! No UN! No UN! No UN!
No UN! UN! No UN! UN! No UN! 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 No UN! UN! No UN! We love our Aboriginal. Thank you, Virginia. You really, you spoke the truth there. This is all about Canadian sovereignty, our way of life, our children, their future. And I praise everyone who's come out today on this very warm, sunny day. But remember, I've got the plunger here. We got to do some draining, Canada. We all got to become plumbers.
We need to clean up Trudeau!
We got to start draining.
Drain Trudeau out!
Starting with Trudeau, of course. But we got to start draining. We all got to take apprenticeship in plumbing and make sure we all become plumbers in 2019. But there is hope today. The hope is with everyone here who's here. That's where the hope lies. Everyone here today. We just got to keep going, get our message out, and reach more Canadians.
Yeah, more Canadian to work.
And this is about love for our people.
No Trudeau!
It's about listening to our people.
Hey guys, what's up?
It's about honoring our First Nations who just spoke. And they see it. They've been here. They've been through more than anyone, our First Nations. And you heard, Virginia, there, the warning cry of what's happening to our country. The warning cry. I'm going to invite another First Nations friend up here.
Oh.
I'm not First
Go beside you, right there. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were, Dave. Okay. Okay, I thought he was. You come up. What's your name? All right.
Okay. Hello? Can everyone hear? Yeah. Okay. I am strongly against the UN Global Compact for Migration, signed December the 10th, 2018 in Marrakesh, Morocco. It includes the following. Number one, mass immigration is normalized. It becomes a
Boo.
human right. The rights of the migrants is mentioned 112 times.
112 times, everyone. Did you hear that in that document? The word migration.
The migrants have the legal rights to health care, education, and social services. The migrants have the legal right to bring all family members with them, regardless of their skill. Regardless of their skill and fitness level. The word democracy or integration or human rights is never mentioned once. Positive immigration information is to be taught in schools. The news media is to be sensitized and educated. And those who don't will be punished. There is only one truth that should not be sensitized. This is not truth if it has to be manipulated.
That's right.
Awesome stuff.
We got that one. Very good.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. That's another warning of this globalist agenda, everyone. It's very sinister. It's taking our freedom of speech away. It's taking our quality of life away. It's all about global citizenry. It's all about global world order. It's all about these globalist corporations controlling us. That's the truth. Erosion of Canadian sovereignty, erosion of Canadian citizenry. And that's what's going on all levels of government. This isn't made up. So this is a rally cry against this globalist agenda. I say, no UN.
No UN!
No UN.
No UN! No UN! No UN! No UN!
Ivanka, so I want to be very clear. Let's unite, everyone. We don't need division. That's okay. Okay, it's good. See the division we face, right? We got Antifa there, and we got these people over there dividing us. But that's okay.
You want to denounce them for it?
But we love all Canadians. Remember that? We love all Canadians. We love our country.
See you guys later. Are you going to turn
These
on
people over here, they're Canadians at the end of the day. Let's rise above it, everyone. Let's help inform them. That's all we can do, right? So I want to bring up a subject. This is part of the transformation. I don't know if everyone here knows about it, but in Ontario, there's a party that's going to be officially registered. It's called the Islamic Party of Ontario.
Boo!
There's also the Islamic Party of Canada. And we're not against our Canadian Muslims. We support all Canadians. But what we stand against is Sharia political Islam. That has no place in Canada. And if you look at the Islamic Party of Ontario, it says that Islam, Allah, Muhammad is the way of life of Canada, of Ontario. These people want to implement Sharia in Canada. Go look them up. That's the transformation that we're facing. It's very scary, isn't it? So these people are coming here, and now they're trying to pose their way of life on us. This is how serious the issue is. I'm going to invite Ivanka up here. Thank you, Ivanka. Can I give you a hat, or do you want a toque, or unless you're a pretty hardy Canadian? All right, I'll give you one, because I don't want, this guy's hardy, eh? He must be Canadian to the core.
You gotta just wake up with cold showers, guys. It really gets you conditioned, and go for runs, just a t-shirt and shorts if you can handle it. It'll have a wonder in what your body can get used to over a little bit, if you're a fucking Canadian.
Yeah!
Now, it's been a while since I used one of these here. Here, you got it?
We had it earlier.
There you go. Gonna put it on the step there. Tall genetics, good genetics here, folks, for these Canadians, right? Okay, so I'm here to talk with you about immigration. And we've been talking a lot about that migration pact and how it will affect us in the future. But if you look at the current state of illegal immigration in Canada, we're already in a bad place. So often, opponents to mass migration are framed as paranoid and racist, and that has people scared to speak up. But I tell you, the time to ask difficult questions and confront uncomfortable facts is now! This is a zero-sum game. Canada's current immigration policies will have profound consequences on our nation and our children's future, even if we do back out of the migration pact. Now look at the opposition over there. All they can do is shout, screech, and yell, Nazi, fascist. But they're the foolish foot soldiers of the financial and corporate elite, the real power. Now it's a sad day when the revolutionaries push the same message as cosmopolitan bankers. Look around you. Every day, hard-working Canadians are fighting to keep their communities, safety, and livelihoods intact.
Yeah!
We are for those people. We are the real revolutionaries. Now, our neighbor to the south has recently revoked temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of people within their borders. Good for them, I say. And in that time, we've seen an influx of illegal immigration to this country. According to the federal budget watchdog, illegal immigration cost us $340 million in 2017, and the number is expected to be closer to $400 million for 2019.
400 million.
We're talking about 14 grand per illegal in 2017, and that's just federal funds. Ontario estimated $200 million in extra costs, which the province paid for, and federal budget officer Yves Giroux estimates another $200 million for Quebec alone. Now, we've got a deal called the Safe Third Country Agreement, and we signed this with the states. The idea is that if you're seeking asylum, you must apply in whichever of the two countries you arrived in first. If you try to claim refugee status at a designated border crossing with the USA, which is a safe country, you're turned away. Supposedly. Done deal, eh? Well, not really. If you sneak into Canada, if you avoid an official port of entry, Canada will assess your claim. Now, Immigration Minister Bill Blair admits that this deal has been, quote, providing an incentive to individuals to cross irregularly, unquote. Well, I always get a chuckle out of that. Irregular immigration, well, we all know what that means. Illegal immigration. But don't worry, we have another loophole, and this is in the Immigration and Refugee Act. Well, Janet Dench, so she's the executive director of the Canadian Council for Refugees. This is what she says. She says this legislation, quote, makes it illegal, but also says it's not illegal at the same time. Well, what the heck does that mean? It's illegal, but it's not? Okay, I'll take your word for it, Janet. So every time someone crosses illegally, you can write the government a $14,000 check. But because we've been oversaturated with claims, this is expected to go past $16,000 by March of 2020. Now, we're equipped to handle about 24,000 asylum claims, and we got over twice that in 2017. About half of those were through illegal entries. So it's causing longer wait times and we all gotta just foot the bill for it, right? Bullshit. Thank you, sir. 1 in 7 Canadians are currently living in poverty, especially in northern communities, which of course are the ones hit hardest by these carbon taxes. Well, why doesn't the government use this money to eliminate the hardships that Canadians face? I'll tell you why. Because the politicians want votes from these fake refugees, the banks want more loans, and the corporations want more consumers and cheaper wages. All right, well, now that we're talking about the well-being of Canadians, let's talk about security. In a 2018 report, the RCMP admitted that the surge of illegal border crossers placed such a strain on the Canadian Border and Immigration Services that the screening was wholly inadequate. But just recently, a Somali man, Abdullahi Hashi Farah, was let in despite admitting to CBSA officers that he had in fact been involved in criminal gang activity in the US. But Farah said he was reformed, so no problem, right? Instead of waiting for his criminal background check to come back from the United States, the judge commended Farah's character and let him free in our country. Well, come to June 2018, Farah is arrested here in Edmonton for a string of armed robberies. And we all remember when another Somali so-called refugee stabbed a police officer and hit 4 civilians in a jihadi-inspired attack. Allegedly, right? Allegedly. Abdullah Hassan Sharif entered as a refugee under Harper's government, and he's a typical case. He traveled from Brazil and then into the U.S. via human traffickers. He was rejected from the U.S., entered at a port, and was accepted as a refugee here in Canada. So you remember that loophole I talked about earlier? If you cross illegally, you can apply for asylum. Well, this guy actually did apply at a port. He should have been rejected summarily because he'd already applied for refugee status in the States. But no, we let him in. And in 2015, he was investigated by the RCMP for espousing extremist ideologies and support for ISIS. You guys remember? Even the media reported it. There was an ISIS flag in that car. You remember that? They couldn't hide it. Damn right, sir. Absolutely. Conservatives are just as bad as liberals, and never forget it. So this guy was allowed to stay. Well, now we come to a truly tragic case, Marissa Shen. This beautiful, bright 13-year-old girl was brutally murdered. Her body was discarded in a park, left to rot. And the man charged is Ibrahim Ali, a refugee from Syria who had been in Canada all of 4 months before the time of Marissa's death. Now, I want to applaud the Chinese community who have shown up to protest outside the courtroom where Ali is being tried. They've been very vocal about their opposition to Canada's refugee program. Well, let's look at what the States has been doing this time. The Trump administration has passed 2 executive orders restricting immigration from countries that pose security issues. That's Executive Orders 13769 and 13780. And what a coincidence. The list of countries cited in both orders include Somalia and Syria, the nations of origin of all of the criminals I just discussed.
Bullshit! Make no sense.
Now, the government has maintained that they have a vetting process, one which scrutinizes every person who is accepted as a refugee in Canada. Well, the Canada Border Services Agency released an internal audit regarding the screening of refugees in 2017, and it revealed big gaps in that system. There were 150 cases where screening was insufficient, and 39 where no screening occurred whatsoever. Now, the CBSA did release a public version of the report, but these breaches were redacted as sensitive information. Of course they were. Sensitive information? More like critical information? So this is a government agency misinforming Canadians about the state of our screening processes. They are lying to you. That's right. That's right. And these issues apply to organized crime as well. In May of 2018, the Toronto Sun reported on a memo which was released internally by CISC, and that's the Criminal Intelligence Service Canada, and it's concerning MS-13 and their use of migration routes from the US into Canada. So here are a couple quotes to put it in perspective. A quote, influx of Salvadoran migrants is expected through 2018 and 2019, requesting silence in response to the removal of their temporary protected status in the United States, unquote. Quote, MS-13 members will likely exploit the migration of Salvadorians to Canada to set up new cells, most likely in the Greater Toronto Area, Montreal, and Vancouver, unquote. MS-13, you guys heard of these people? This is a gang with an estimated 40,000 members operating in multiple countries with an estimated 10,000 members in the United States. They've had a noted presence in Toronto for at least a decade. An extremely violent criminal organization, folks. MS-13 beheads people, they torture people, and they've been involved with child prostitution as well. Now, the Trump administration has taken a decidedly hardline approach to MS-13, and that's only going to increase the impetus for them to come into Canada. We are a soft target. That is a big problem.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, folks, I'm not the only person raising the stink about these issues, and the discontent of the Canadian people has reached the Prime Minister's ears. Well, what does he have to say about all this? Quote, I recognize there are a lot of legitimate questions. Are we processing these people right? Are we investing enough money in the system to be able to handle this? And we have invested more, and we're improving those systems, unquote. So that's it. From the highest seat in the land, spend more money, work out the kinks, don't worry about it, Canadians. Well, personally, I'm not interested in reforms. I don't want to wait for incremental changes, and I don't want to pay a cent more than I already do. The consequences of illegal immigration are ever increasing. They are going to outpace any action the government is willing to take, and that's regardless of whatever party is in power. Bottom line, we don't need to sign a migration pact. We have enough problems as it is. Now, our Prime Minister has gone on record saying Canada has no core identity. He says we're the, quote, first post-national state, unquote. Well, here's some definitions from the Oxford Dictionary. A nation is a people united by common descent, history, culture, or language. But a state, it's just an organized political community under one government. So make no mistake, folks, to the elite, we're a collection of laborers to be exploited. We are the worker ants in the colony. They give us a meaningless vote. They give us cheap TVs. They tell us to watch the game, smoke some weed, and just relax. And while everyone's sitting on their asses, our birth rate has declined to 1.6, far below replacement. Young people are actively discouraged from having kids, and if they wanted to, they couldn't afford it anyway. But the feds aren't concerned with that. They'd rather use the low birth rate to justify their destructive immigration policies.
That's the truth.
Now, not to say anything about you fine folks, but I'm sure some of you are old enough to remember when this country had dreams, when we thought ourselves a people who could colonize space one day. The Canadian people had big ambition, folks, but for citizens as young as myself, and I'm 23, this has never been the case. With circumstances dire as we know them to be, what is the path going forward? Folks, the silent majority is with us, but we need a vanguard. We need energy. We need intensity. We need people who will stand up to the working order and defy harassment from these so-called anti-fascists. So now, I ask all of you today here in defense of our nation, are you willing to stand up for our people?
Yeah!
And are you willing to be that vanguard?
Yeah!
Let's do it, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Walker.
No, you win! No, you win! No, you win!
No UN! No UN! No UN!
No, you win!
And we love all our people. We love our country. We love all Canadians. We love them all. This is about love. Love for our people. We feel it in our hearts and minds. That's what we're about. But we care about our country. We care about our people. And what Yvonne shared, everyone, was textbook globalist agenda. Textbook globalist agenda. Illegal migration, mass immigration are some of the vehicles to transform, replace our traditional populations. And our First Nations Virginia, she touched on that as well, right? This is what's going on. We need to rise up. We all need to rise up and fight this, or we're going to lose our way of life. We're going to lose our country. That is the honest truth. The facts are there. The demographics are there. Yvonne showcased the immigration facts of what's happening. So don't get discouraged. We are fighting it. There's other groups fighting it. So we can prevail, because the real power in this country is with the Canadian people. Don't get fooled.
We fight for our rights!
At all. But this, the mass immigration. I've been consulting with Professor Grubel from Simon Fraser University. He's done great work on the impact of mass immigration. And right now, with the new immigrants coming in, and we're not against immigrants, we love Canadian immigrants that come here, that integrate, that contribute to our prosperity and security. But the mass immigration coming in is 40 billion taxation negative. 40 billion.
Boo!
And what that means is more services are consumed than taxes paid, to the tune of 40 billion of your tax dollars every year. Immigration, the administration federally is costing 24 billion. So do the math. There's a net loss of up to 50+ billion a year. That's what's going on. If you look at the UN Migration Pact, and Yvonne touched on it, but it's all in there about accommodating new people into our country, whether you're irregular, regular, illegal, whatever you're, alien, whatever you are, you get access to our health care, you get access to our welfare, you get access to our social services. That's what's going on. So I call on everyone to rise up and stand up for all Canadians. We got to fight the globalism. It's clear, isn't it? This can't be any more clear. The facts, aren't they? And we love our resource workers. We love our oil and gas. We want jobs. Oil's not going anywhere. But remember, the globalists oppose you. Agenda 2030 opposes you. Agenda 21, UN Migration Pact, it's all about sustainable energy, global citizenry, and that's the truth. But there is hope. The hope is everyone here today. So please spread our message, everyone. Spread our message, because that's where our hope lies. And the Yellowvests, who are anti-globalists in America, Australia, Europe, you name it. And there's our sir there. Excuse me, sir. Sir. Come up here. Come up here. Hi, sir. How are you? Good, man. We love all Canadians, don't we?
Yeah!
We love them all. We love Canadians who come here, integrate, who want to be part of our family, contribute to our prosperity, our security. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where are you from, sir?
Vietnam.
Wonderful, wonderful. How long you been in Canada?
30 years.
Yeah. And you love Canada, don't you?
Yeah, why not?
There's his patch there. There's his patch there. So this is about all Canadians. Let's remember that, eh? But we want people to integrate, right? That's not unreasonable, is it?
Hi, I'm from Vietnam. I'm patriot. I love Canada. Yeah, but now I don't like UN because UN no good now. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
No UN. No UN. No UN. He gets it. See that? He gets it. This guy is smarter than Trudeau.
Oh yeah, we'll vote for
He
him.
should be Prime Minister.
Oh yeah.
No UN. No yen.
No UN. You heard that? This is what's your first name again?
Jeffrey.
Gentry. Yeah, from Vietnam. He immigrated here 20 years ago. He's integrated. He loves Canada. This is his home. He's embraced it. Now he's worried. He sees what everyone here sees. The threat from the globalism UN. And from... Come up here. Thank you for coming. Are you warm enough?
Yes.
So we love all our Canadians. Let's punctuate this. This is not about racism or anything. This is about love for our people, our country.
To me, immigration is always welcome here. Only if it's legal. Not
Yeah.
I work hard for my kids. All my tax money go to support illegal immigrants. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. I work in oil field. We work very, very hard, and we don't get the support here in Alberta. Where's our money go? Somewhere else. Lots around the world, but not Canada, not Alberta. Not acceptable. Trudeau must go.
Trudeau must go.
Trudeau must go. Yay!
We must go. Trudeau must go. Globalism must go. We got to look at the big picture, as Yvonne pointed out. The whole globalist is taking over our country. It's like a cancer, isn't it? And we love people around the world. We love people around the world. That's not the issue. But this is our homeland. This is our homeland, isn't it?
Yes. We always need to take care of our people first before taking care of our neighbors. Right? Our veteran needs help. Our homeless needs warmer shelter. Why is there no support here? I am Asian. That means I am not racist against anyone. I speak the truth. And right now, we don't feel that around here. We don't feel the support we need, especially in oil field. Lots of people losing their job, and they're saying, oh, there's about job fine for December. No, that's not true. Maybe he's counting part-time job, but not actual job. No, it's not supporting anyone here.
There you have it. That's the truth. You heard it there. It is what it is, isn't it? It's very sad, but we only have one way forward. Is to struggle and to fight against what's harming us, harming our families, harming our children, our future. Isn't it right?
Yes.
Fight for
no
our
choice.
rights.
This is the message we need to spread. We got to wake up all Canadians to this reality.
Yes.
This.
Welcome, but not illegal. Not illegal immigrants.
Yeah, and remember the mass immigration. That is doing the transformation.
Yes.
Right? They're literally replacing the founders, the creators of Canada. Remember that. And that's not a good thing for this country, is it?
No.
These people, the pioneers, the settlers, they created the institutions, the whole structure of Canada. How can we replace them, right? That's wrong. So we got to stand up for them. Because we don't want to turn into a UN globalist village, do we?
No.
That's what's coming. That is what's coming every day. Look around you. Look around you.
Oh, it's an excellent speech.
Thank you.
Look at what's happening. But I hope we've made it clearer, the issues today. This is the struggle of our lives, all Canadians. And we need to rally behind this. We got to say no to the UN, no to globalism, and yes to being Canadian. That's what it's about. Yes to being Canadian. bring it up, sir. So, what's your name, sir? Joe's gonna touch more on Agenda 2030. Let's move over. Agenda 2030, and just build off what we said, Joe. Thank you very much.
I was down at the ledge, and I talked about the permanent members of the UN, China, Russia, the UK, France, and the US. When the UN was created, it was to stop despots like Hitler. Now today, these 5 countries are no better than Hitler was. You look at China imprisoning religious people, political opponents. These people disappear in jail. Is that a country we should follow? Is that a country that should have so much power in the world? Russia, politically infiltrate Crimea, sink Ukrainian ships and imprison its sailors. This is a country that it has all the power in the UN. That's what it has to do. France is burning. The UK is burning. The US politically infiltrates countries all over. They destroy economies, they destroy societies, and this is a country that we're supposed to follow. These are governments, these are not their citizens. Their citizens are disgraced with their countries. Now, I'm going to talk about Agenda 2030 and some of its components. You look at the duplicity of it in Canada. Now, they have the right to water. This is very admirable. But you look in Canada, a country that has given the UN trillions of dollars. Trillions. And we have many northern communities lacking water. Is that right? We have given them all this money and they do not return. None. Now, you look at everybody has the right to food, to feed themselves. And yet they destroy our livestock and grain under the auspices of climate change. That is duality. We feed the world. And yet the UN wants to shut that down and let these people starve. That's wrong. It's disgraceful. You look at energy. Everybody has the right to cheap and affordable energy. And yet they shut our energy down before we have anything in place. This is backwards thinking, and it's disgraceful. This is wrong. Why do we follow the UN when they do these things? It is disgusting and disgraceful, and it should be shameful. But yet we have people that support the UN because they don't do the research. They don't look at policies and look 20 years ahead to see what that's going to look like. We should be always looking ahead. My son's 21. He has no future. None. You have no future unless you want to live off of welfare, which you won't get because it'll be given to illegal immigrants before you. Become patriotic. I don't see one Canadian flag there. Not one.
No Canadian flag. I'm surprised. Are you guys Canadian? No.
Awesome. More insight for everyone. You know, we love all Canadians. We want to work with everyone. Not everyone agrees, right? So that's where we're at. We're open to dialogue. So, but one thing's clear for us. We are against the globalists. We're against the UN. There's no budge there for us. But you see what's going on. It's transforming our country. Part of the UN agenda is to have people on set incomes. They want to control us, control our families. Our traditional families are under threat right now. We need to rise back. Immigration, listen, Immigration should not be used as an organized replacement, because that's what it is. Immigration should be a supplement to our traditional population. Remember that. Right now, it's organized, planned replacement of the traditional populations, and that's the honest truth, and it's only accelerating. What's happening in Canada is unprecedented in world history. Unprecedented in world history. There's never been a country, a government that's literally replacing its founding people. This is globalist insanity that's happening. Do your homework, everyone. That is the honest truth. We're aligned to Professor Duchesne from the University of New Brunswick. He's done some great presentations for us. He's written the book Canada in Decay, and it documents this. So if you have time, read that book, and it starts from pre-Confederation all the way up to globalist puppet Trudeau. All the way up to this puppet that's in there. And don't give Trudeau any more credit than he deserves. Someone calls him a fool. That's going too far. You're giving him too much credit. The guy's just a globalist puppet. That's it. He's on the drama stage. It's all an act. It's all a stage. It's all about trickery and deception. That's what it's about. And at the end of the day, is just pushing the globalist agenda down our throats. That's what's going on, and that's the truth. So I stand in full opposition. We stand, NCA, and I hope everyone here, in full opposition. This is impacting every aspect of our society. And there's so many different layers. We haven't even started today. I could talk for an hour on the Bank of Canada and the fiat currency. And the central bankers controlling our money supply. Every time they print our currency, that is inflation. Since 1973, the Canadian dollar has decreased in purchasing power by over 400%. 400%. Ever since Pierre Trudeau shifted the public lending right to the central bankers, there's been over an 800% increase in the money supply. That is inflation. That means you and your family have less purchasing power. Your costs are going up. Taxes are going up. Life is getting harder. That is what's going on.
The rent's going on.
This country must be about the Canadian people. We have to have sovereign political authority. Enough of the top-down politics. I call on everyone here today to call out the lies, to call out the innuendos, talk about the real issues. Remember that. And that's what we're doing. We're gonna uncover everything, because this is about our future. So many families are struggling to make ends meet. The taxes are going up. The dollar's worth less. There's less jobs. The mass immigration's coming in, and Yvonne last time made a good point. The more mass immigration, the wages go down. There's more unemployment. It doesn't make sense, everyone. The whole thing. So let's fight back. That's what it's about, everyone. Does this make sense? Am I making sense? This is common sense. This is all it is. There's no strings on me. I'm not a puppet. I'm not a puppet. And I don't think anyone here, at least over here, is not a puppet. Right? We have integrity. We care about our country. We don't just think about ourselves. We want to have an impact about our future. And we want to help patriots worldwide who are even in worse conditions. Things are bad here, but look at Europe, what's happening there. Look what's happening in Europe. Look at Sweden, which is very similar to Canada. It is overrun with the migration. There's epidemic rapes. There's immigrant ghettos. There's growing violence. It's happening, everyone. Do your homework. This isn't made up. But this is the reality we face. So our message today as we start this new year, and by the way, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! And this is a good start to the new year, but the message going forward is to share our message. Help inform our fellow Canadians. That's all we can do. It's up to the Canadian people. Our job as the Awaken, I call us the Awaken, is to help inform other Canadians and people worldwide, and to work together in solidarity with other patriots, regardless of where they're from. This world is interconnected. We're interconnected, everyone. But we still stand up for Canadian sovereignty. We stand up for our people. And as our beautiful immigrant Canadians who came up, they said, and what's your first name? Julie, wonderful, beautiful Julie. And her message, everyone, and her family's from Vietnam. You know what her message was? Canadian people first. You heard that, right? That is what it's about. And that's one from one of our beautiful Canadian immigrants. And there's thousands and thousands of Canadian immigrants who feel the same way. And they're from different ethnic backgrounds. They're upset because we're all in the same boat. We're paying this similar taxes. All the stuff coming on us is hitting us. Remember that. And that gentleman there, Bill's going to go around. If you have any spare change, please donate. It helps pay for the events. Anything would be appreciated. Thank you very much. You know, all the equipment, everything we want, but we're here to help inform. We're here to support each other. That is what it's about. And I would like to thank our guests over there. They've been very polite today. And we welcome dialogue with you, and we appreciate your civility today. You're very courteous today, and that's a good start to 2019, isn't it? And we showed a lot of love, so it's all good. It's all good today. This is a positive step, isn't it? A very positive step. So we don't hate our opposition. This is about love for all Canadians. It's about love for all Canadians. Hey, Bill, just go walk around. So let's share the message, everyone. When you go home, share the message. Share our information. We're going to hold more events.
When it's the next one?
For Yellowvest, it's not over for us, because we are anti-globalist to the core. We're pro-Canadian, and that's the only reason we're doing this. because that's just what we stand for. But we're going to keep doing it. We're going to be in Calgary tomorrow. We're heading out to Lloydminster. We're heading out to British Columbia. And guess what? Then we're coming back to Edmonton, the beautiful Edmonton. This is not over, everyone. But we don't need to do this every week. We don't. People are going to burn out. They're going to get tired. This is long term. We're in this for the long term. This is not a short term venue, something we're doing. This is long term, and it's something we're going to grow and get stronger at, right? You understand that, right? We're not looking for a quick fix, though we would love it, but it is long term commitment. That's what we want. And we'd like to thank our police today. We love our police. They provided safety today, security. They allowed us to feel safe. So we honor our police, our veterans, and we're grateful for the service today. It's very appreciative, isn't it, everyone? Very appreciative to our police. And this is the way it should be, isn't it? We had free speech today. Can you believe that? Wonderful, wonderful free speech. But we love our country, don't we? We love our country. We love our people.
We haven't heard of Canada yet.
We love people around the world. We love people around the world. Come up, Julie. Come up, Julie.
Hello. Now I want to ask a question about carbon tax. Okay, minimum's going up, minimum wage going up. Businesses, small business cannot survive because we have to pay more property tax, more carbon tax on top of that. How do you afford to pay more wages when people are not coming to do the service? Right? You cannot afford to go out and have a nice meal because you don't have a job. And how does the people keep up opening businesses for this? So I want to know, what is the carbon tax really helping Canadians and small businesses now? What does carbon tax do to help small businesses, to help people? I don't mind the minimum wage going up, but everything has to be benefiting the employer and employees. We cannot afford to hire people anymore because you cannot afford anything. You cannot go out for a movie or anything with your kids. The governments are not doing anything to help us, to help the poor people, the minimum wage people, and they're doing a free tax for like Saudi Arabia, no carbon tax charge for that, and we have to be the one that's paying for it, right? And this is really good, and I really enjoy being here. We should sing "O Canada." Yeah. We should sing "O Canada."
Hey, what do you think about we finish up with "O Canada"?
Yeah!
But I just want to touch on this carbon tax, everyone. Just very quickly, Agenda 2030. We did some great posts on Agenda 2030 on our Facebook. Go on there, take a look. Agenda 2030, Agenda 21, UN Migration Pact. It's all about this climate change agenda. Carbon tax is just part of that. Controlling, taxing. Canada is carbon neutral. This is insanity, everyone.
Money grab!
We need to invest in our oil and gas. We need refineries, mega refineries of bitumen in Alberta. That's common sense. But the bottom line, carbon tax is about control of the Canadian family, suppression. Another layer of taxation to pay for this globalist agenda. So I say no UN!
No UN!
No UN!
No UN!
And we love our people. Remember that that's our message at the end of the day. Our strength is with everyone here today. Do not forget that. Don't look elsewhere. It is here today. And everyone who's here. So we're gonna finish, unless there's anyone else who wants to add something. We're gonna finish with "O Canada."
Oh, yeah.
led by
We
Julie.
love our country. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Our own native land. To patriot of ain't out a sense command. With law, with art, we see be right. The true, no strong and free. From far and wild, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Woo! Woo! Thank you, Julie. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. We will be posting another event, but let's stay united, everyone. Let's not get divided. If you're anti-globalist, we are united with you. Remember that. We are united with you. Stay focused on the issues, everyone. Stay focused, do your homework. We're going to keep sharing the facts. Keep getting the information out. Stick to the facts, stick to the issues. Do your homework, don't get fooled. That's all we can say. And share, share, share. That's the way forward, everyone. And remember, Happy New Year to everyone here. Happy New Year. And I want to say God bless everyone. God bless everyone. To our country, God bless our country. We love.